Greetings, everyone. This is Koku from the Bitter Medicine Podcast, inviting you to tune in to the Bitter Medicine Podcast on KWAZ Radio.
Peace, family. This is Oni, inviting you to listen to the pro-Black perspective, where Black problems are addressed with Black solutions.
Greetings, fam. Tune in to The Learning Curve with me, the revolutionary matron on KWAZ Radio.
All right, welcome to the Harsh Reality Presents. And this is our 16th episode. And on this segment, we're looking to bring on professionals, influencers, scholars, and any knowledgeable or interested individuals to tell their story and also hear their unique takes on the news of the day. And I personally think it's more beneficial and insightful to listen to a person's perspective than a traditional question and answer format. But before we continue, you got to shout out our KWAZ radio family. KWAZ bring y'all the latest and greatest and conscientious oriented what was the word I'm looking for? Y'all know what I meant. But just make sure y'all subscribe to the Bitter Medicine Podcast, hosted by Goku, the pro-Black perspective, hosted by Oni Tase, and also the Learning Curve, hosted by the revolutionary matron. And make sure y'all check out Forecast Radio, Brother Bakari, and the African Mind, hosted by Tanzan. And lastly, the podcast is now on Patreon. Please donate. And of course, all proceeds go to upgrading the show and provide the best content we can for our loyal listeners. Also, for those looking to reach out, drop a message to the show. Make sure y'all drop us an email at theharshrealitypod@gmail.com. Now, without further ado, let us get to our guest. Let me bring you up there. Let's get you in here. What up?
What up?
What's going on? So let me introduce you, give you the proper introduction. My guest today is an entrepreneur, certified holistic nutritionist, a herbalist, a yoga teacher, and a rising influencer, and an all-around beautiful soul. I'm honored to roll out the red carpet for the one and only Starr, owner and operator of Rarerareness. How are you doing?
I'm doing lovely. Thank you.
You got tongue twister right there. Rarerareness.
Rare. I know, yeah. Rare.
So for those who may not be familiar with you or your brand, I'm gonna give you the first minute here to drop some background information, maybe tell us a little bit about yourself, your interest in holistic healing, and fitness, spirituality, those type of things. I know you're big on that. Mm-hmm. So to start with your upbringing.
Okay, well, my name is Starr. I'm a holistic nutritionist. I specialize in plant-based medicine. Been plant-based for 6 years now. Yesterday was my planiversary, 6-year planiversary. Yeah, so plant-based. I work with clinical herbalism. I've been a huge advocate for holistic health because, just being a empathetic being, seeing, family members dealing with conventional medicine with no cure, no help. It just seemed like conventional medicine was all about sustaining your sickness. And, I just figured there had to be a different way. So, yeah, so actually I came upon, of course, the late, great Dr. Sebi.
Shout out.
Shout out to him. King. Yeah, so, he was preaching about eat to live, electric foods, eating natural things. And, I really resonated with that message, especially too, because I was starting to question a lot of things about society, so they came at the right time. So, yeah. And, I've been a certified yoga instructor for 3 years now. So, yeah, so it all goes hand in hand, mind, body, spirit.
So what kind of area are like you're doing the teaching at? Are you doing it actually in person? I know they're doing a lot of virtual stuff these days. Are you actually hosting a class and things like that?
So I do one-on-ones, I do private sessions. I'm looking to start doing some events now that I'm moved to a new city. Yeah. Yeah, but I do virtual classes, I do one-on-ones personally. I work with clients. I coach a few clients as far as transitioning into more whole plant-based foods. So
Okay, so you're more vegan, I would say, or you?
I try not to like, the vegan stuff, but yeah,
Yeah.
I say plant-based
Because
because
I know a lot of people, I know depending on your body or whatnot, but it's always best to get out of these like GMO foods and stuff like that. I know that's kind of why I want to bring you on, because this is a big thing, especially the last 2 years. Is what was crazy to me is that like nobody was talking about 80% of people who had great effects from the scamdemic was obese. You know what I'm saying? Like nobody even mentioned that.
yeah.
Nobody. I didn't hear Fra G on there talking about some don't be big. You know what I'm saying? Eat right. But
Yeah.
everything's a shot. So I'm like, yo, it has to be a way. And even if you do, like say, even if you do buy all the way into it, like you got to agree that it's no big people walking around old folks' homes. It just doesn't happen. So that's kind of why I want to be at. Not necessarily that you need to be like skinny, model, thin, or nothing like that. But we definitely need to eat right. We definitely need to watch our health and things like that. So I think it's great that people like you are here to kind of, help people. Not necessarily direct them, but just help them and let them know what they need to do. Because a lot of people just don't know.
Yeah.
I realized that too. So I kind of want to hit on like the whole body concept, because I think a lot of times we just focus on physical health, and we kind of neglect the three other realms of health, which is your mind, your body, your spirit. I'll say all of those in conjunction kind of make up the whole body concept. So what kind of tips or what do you do personally to kind of keep yourself in balance and stuff like that?
Well, a big thing is managing stress, because we don't realize how much stress suppresses our immune system. And, when our immune system is suppressed, we're more prone to getting sick and disease. So I would say managing stress. And that's why, I got into yoga, because it helps you to tune into your mind and your body, because we approach it together. And through deep breathing, that also helps you to manage your stress, keep your stress levels low. As far as like mind, body, spirit, meditation, being more in tune with your thoughts, because our thoughts become things. And for example, when we tune into the matrix, like the TV, you know, it's always telling us what to be afraid of, what to be stressed out about, and with the whole scamdemic, I feel like I feel like a lot of that sickness was being passed around through fear, you know.
I seen speaking of which, like I seen a poll that showed like it had the different breakdowns of different people, demographics, so how much they absorb media, particularly TV. And guess who was number one? You know what I'm saying? It was the Black demographic was number one. It was like 3.5 hours a day. Asian people might have been at the bottom. But it was crazy because that's what we got a diet of. When we talk about balancing your mind, body, and spirit, one of the worst things you could do, or one of the worst places to be. I know you know this as a yoga practitioner, is your lower chakra, which is like the lowest, which is fear. That's basically like your animal instinct.
Yeah.
So when you sit down there, not only are you down there, you're supposed to be a fight or fight type of thing, right? Like you get fear, and either you finna rumble or you finna take off. But
Yeah.
when you live down there, that's where your area, that's where you stay at, then you know what I'm saying, you're kind of detrimental to your body. That's kind of what I want to hit on that, and we've been getting one of the biggest, I think, attacks this past couple of years on terms of your mental health. I think anxiety's up. I think I read like teen suicide is at all-time levels, which is crazy. So that's kind of another thing why I want to hit on that. Now, in terms of bringing it in whole, right? Bringing in the three concept whole. How can you balance all of that together, or what I say would be the biggest tip, or outside of just tuning out from the matrix, or what kept you sane during the past 2 years, I'd say.
Okay, so what's kept me sane? I would say seeking God.
Word.
Okay, so seeking God for sure. Um, you know, because society, it teaches us to live in survival mode. We're not just living, so I would say definitely meditation has kept me super sane because you got all these different perspectives and telling you what to think, how to feel, blah, blah, blah. So tuning into what feels right for you, most importantly. Um, I would say eating right, because when you're not eating right, you're not thinking right.
Word. I agree with that, yo. Is you even I would even say the time that you eat makes a big difference too.
That's
And I'm prone to that, yo. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'll be up all night and just like, oh, some hot wings look good at midnight. Now you had the worst dream ever, you know. So that speaks to like discipline, and we don't take that into account too. Like I said, the time that you eat, your digestive
mm,
kind of scenario, your digestive times and your time frames that's best for you to eat. I know some people harp on like not eating nothing after 7 p.m., which I don't know if
mm,
I can do that,
yeah.
but it's the thing that helps. But and also intermittent fasting. I think people sleep on fasting as not only a body thing but also as a mind thing. We don't kind of push our limits. We don't clear and focus. When you're digesting food, you're using that energy, you know what I'm saying? So I think intermittent fasting, one thing that greatly helped me, I need to get back into it because I fell off by the past month, but yeah, that's one thing that kind of helped me as well, is just, you know what I'm saying? And also tuning out, period. I take walks. People don't take walks. Something simple like that helps you, listening to the birds and the nature and stuff like that.
Definitely.
um yeah, so we got that, the tips and the practices for staying healthy and ready. And that's another thing I wanted to hit on, is the physical being, in terms of being ready for what might come. You know, I'm not a doomer, but you never know. As a father, I take being just fit in general as something to protect your kids, protect your family, and things like that. I
Yeah.
say from like the feminine perspective, how do you feel about just being ready in general? Or what can females do in terms of that, or being ready or being prepared and things like that, just in case S hit the fan or whatever.
S hit the fan. Okay. Well, I think us females need to be fit physically too. Definitely think we need to build up our strength, also our mental fortitude and our spiritual strength. Um, I believe as like feminines that our intuition is very important. You know, the man is the force, the women is the, what I'm saying? So as far as being ready, I would say we need to get acquainted with learning how to fast, like you brought up fasting, because, for example, with all this stuff that's going on in the world, they're trying to fake or force food shortages and all these things. You know, we need to learn how to be able to go without. We need to learn how to build up our spiritual strength, because we live in a time of major spiritual warfare. You know, they're attacking our spirit.
Mhm.
Um, they're dividing us. I think we need to learn how to actually come together and not be in a ego.
All right.
Because yeah, for sure. Because if you look on the internet, we're just fighting each other, not having really
Shout out
any
to
solution,
Twitter.
right?
I think that was a Twitter shot.
Right. Shots fired at Twitter.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. But I do also think a diet, a proper diet, plays a big role in how we view the world. You know, everything is energy. And if we're eating things that weigh us down, for example, eating like dead foods with no life force, that affects us because our cells are constantly breaking down and rebuilding itself. And it's rebuilding itself based on the things that we are intaking. And yeah, I feel like people need to be more in tune with energy and not viewing the world as such physical, because I feel like this is one of the topics, the stigma with Black people and spirituality and health. We
Word.
view it as different things when really they coincide with each other. And it wasn't until the spirituality, in my perspective, until my spirituality grew, that I was able to find true health. And with anybody that I work with, any of my clients, it's like, if you don't believe that you can heal, then you won't.
Word to mind.
Yes,
Yeah, so I feel you on that.
the mind.
And shout out to the Forecast. We got Forecast Radio out in the chat. Peace,
Hey,
brother. We got Bitter Medicine, Captain of the Ship. What's going on with you, brother?
hey,
And we got Oni from the Pro Black Perspective shouting out.
hey.
Peace. Yeah, don't talk to that dude too much, man. He might try to slide in the DMs.
Um,
All right, and speaking back, so I want to talk more. I kind of want to definitely get on the stigma. Now, where do you think the stigma in the Black community comes from, the spirituality in particular? Is it I don't know. I heard you speak about God, so I don't know what your spiritual system is. But do you think the stigma maybe stems from the Abrahamic religions, maybe being tied to religion or understanding religion, right?
mhm.
So what's your perspective on where that stigma comes from?
I would definitely say religion. I mean, I grew up as a religious person. I feel like most of us did. Christianity has had a chokehold on the Black community. Yeah,
Word.
so I would say religion because, the difference in religion and spirituality, in my perspective, is spirituality is you creating your own path to God, but religion is you following someone else's path to God.
Word.
So, and not to shade religion or anything, but there's a lot of inconsistencies and contradictions that kind of keep you from really finding the true self, you know? So, especially if you look at, for example, like the Bible from like a purely like literal physical standpoint, all is energy. And I believe that we need to be able to decode it symbolically to
Yeah, that's why I recommend like reading the Bible twice. You read it as first, like when you're younger, right? And you kind of take it literal. But once you open that third eye, once you kind of understand, you can read any holy book and interpret what it is. And it's all basically metaphysical metaphors. You know what I'm saying? That's why I kind of preach to people that, particularly people who are stuck in the matrix, like I call it. You can coexist with spirituality. The thing is, you got to realize it's not an opposition of what you believe. It actually enhances what you believe. You know what I'm saying? And once you can understand that and understand your link and all that other, your divine consciousness, and you don't want to go that deep into people at first because you'll scare them off.
Yeah.
But that the first initial link, you kind of want to just preach to them, or not even preach, but just kind of relate to them that, this can coexist. This is not against what you're saying. You know what I'm saying? So once you can kind of make that link, you can kind of help people open up that third eye, I like to say open up that pineal gland. They can kind of read you. And once you start going up, once you open it up, now you can go, right? It's like a baby first learn how to crawl. Now you can walk. You feel me?
Yeah.
So that's kind of why I go with that.
Okay.
Shout out only link between spirituality and health. That's what's up. Appreciate it, bro.
So, okay, I do have a question for you though.
I'm on the spot. I'm interviewing you, yo. Hold on. What you got? Best.
Okay. So, at what point, what made you start to question like reality?
I'm an old soul, yo. I've been here a couple times. I never forget my mom. She was telling me a story. I was like 2 years old or something. She was like, we went somewhere and we was like little kids running around, and you was just like children, you know what I'm saying? Like scoffing at them, you know what I'm saying? So I always kind of challenged authority, which always hasn't been a great thing for me. I ain't gonna lie, but I've always kind of been a contrarian in that sense. And honestly, I never really thought about it once I went through my teenage years, my early 20s or whatever. And then I ended up joining the military. People don't know, man, when you go into the military, it's like super downtime. So either you're getting shot at or you're bored as hell. Right. And when you're bored as hell, you start to explore different books, different documentaries. And I picked up this book called Knowledge of Self, read it, and it kind of, it was more 5% or leaning or whatever, but it just kind of helped me get back into stuff I kind of knew. And then once I get there, I'm just reading everything, right? And then ran into some spiritual brothers, ran into a lot of people, and they putting me on the things. And it's funny to me, like once you kind of get into the realm, once you kind of open up that third eye, once you start people come out of nowhere. Like people you didn't even know was on the level, they start to come out of nowhere, and they all link up, and you'll start to talk, and you always have that little like toe in the water, right? It's like when you looking at that pool, I wonder is the water kind of cold? So, yeah, what do you think about that? Oh, and then you hear something that'll kind of trigger you. So now I know I can have this conversation with you. So that kind of made me question everything. And then once you start to see the correlations, particularly this last couple of years, it's been like eye-opening big time. Like everything you said was going to happen 10 years ago, or people saying was happening 10, 12 years ago, is happening now. Yeah. So to me, it kind of ring that bell. And that's kind of why, I started this platform. I started to see the signs and see the things. So I'm like, yo, I got to do something. You know what I mean? I can't just go, grind on the spin wheel of corporate death all day and then go home. And I got to at least try to do something. So that's why I started this platform. And why I reached out to people like you know what I'm saying? Like a good majority of my episodes is like, yo, I'm going to talk to spiritual people, yo, because y'all need to hear this shit, bro. But so that's why I got it. You know what I mean? So not to put you on the spot, so we're gonna go back to, because you got your interview segment, so let me so to me you seem like you're a little younger, right? How old are you?
I'll be 27 next month.
Oh, okay, so you ain't young.
Nah. But people look at me and think I'm young, but
black don't crack. But so what do you think about the younger people? Like, do you see a big surge or a big push younger people getting into spirituality, breaking from the Abrahamic religions, and is that honestly a good thing to you?
Well, I do think it's a good thing that people are more willing to be open-minded. But with the rise of the internet, you got a lot of false prophets. You got a lot of a lot of that. A lot of, I guess you could say, misinformation, but kind of don't like the word because of
they hijacked that one.
Yeah. Yeah. So I mean, I do like that. I don't know. I have this kind of weird optimism that more people are waking up, because really it's going to be the younger generations that create the new change, create the new world. But but more and more people are waking up. So I do love that. Starting to question the matrix.
Yeah, it's kind of, to me, I see a catch-22. I see more people questioning, but then I think you kind of go to the extreme. I think sometimes people have been pushed so far with the loyalty to the Abrahamic religions and to politics and to other things where they have zero faith in anything now. Okay. So it's like they don't have faith in themselves at this point. So I think you gotta be careful too. You know what I'm saying? Like, so I think it's good that we questioning, but I say this: if you don't believe in something, they're gonna give you something to believe in. You know what I'm saying? That's why I think we're seeing, what you talking about, the internet, we're seeing the rise in celebrity worship. You're seeing the rise in politician worship. You're seeing the rise, because you're going to worship some. And if you don't believe in anything, I think you're going to worship man, or you're going to worship science. Science. Yeah. So
that's the science.
Which is the most asinine term I've ever heard in my life, because science is made to be broken. You win a Nobel Prize if you just debunked anything in science. But now you're supposed to trust it. But that's kind of what I was getting at, is that we kind of need to find a middle ground. I think with people. So if you can catch them when they're breaking from that matrix, when they're breaking from that, and kind of like push them to maybe spirituality, or not even just just having something, anything that's not man-made, or that's not going to be detrimental. So to me, that's hard. I don't know if there's an answer to that. And I don't know what's going to happen. So that's my thoughts on it. What you think of the future, or what do you think is the next few years, what it looks like? Do you see a rise in maybe atheism, or do you see a rise in spirituality, or going back to Christianity, or what do you think?
I have noticed a trend in some spiritual people that worship themselves instead of the creator.
Speak on it.
That goes back to that ego stuff, self-serving, wanting to be a guru and stuff, and people to worship you. Like, I see it all the time, like cults, people having cults, but people need to trust themselves more and trust in a higher power, because ultimately, yeah, we're made. People worship AI. Yeah, I see that happening too.
Yeah, look at L. Shout out to L. That's my co-host on the Harsh Reality Podcast. He gonna say some crazy stuff. Probably go there.
No, but it's true though. Like
Yeah,
they're
that's true.
trying to, what's the word? Integrate consciousness with electricity, or what's the word? Technology.
Yeah, put
And
consciousness into machine. Yeah.
yeah, and I feel like as we get deeper into this technology driven society, the farther away we're getting from nature. And I feel like that's why more and more people are sick, you know, adrenal fatigued. These frequencies that mess with our energetic frequency, you know what I'm saying? Our electromagnetism.
Mm,
Yeah.
it is,
Yeah.
bro. But the thing is, and then you also like you're made to go through, life and get as much knowledge as you can through that life. When essentially when you put your consciousness in a machine, that's almost you trying to enact God. You know what I'm saying? I
Yeah.
think that's almost like the final frontier. That's like Star Trek, Endgame, Klingon, it's over with type shit, right? But that's what I'm trying to like preach, but people don't see that that's what's coming. Like that's what the ultimate goal is transhumanism. That's why you hear the word. It went from what used to be cross-dresser when now everything's trans, right? You're transgender, you're trans. They even got transracial now. You're trans this,
Or
you
genderless.
yeah, you can non-binary or whatever. Like you can
Yeah.
be whatever you want to be at this point, and it's kind of they pushing these stigmas, these different terms to kind of get you used to it.
Mhm.
And it's not directed towards us. To me, I think we're too old in the game. We're gonna reject it. But these kids, when they've been hearing that since 4, 5, 6, 7 years old, that if you want to be a flying giraffe, that's your prerogative. That's what you are. So I'm kind of like, it makes you want to pull your kids from school. I ain't gonna be honest. That's one of my things.
I swear.
Like,
Definitely makes me want to homeschool my kids, my future kids, and my kids. But yeah, because what they're teaching our kids right now is like, whoa. Like,
whoa.
why do you need to have drag queens in school dancing around elementary school kids?
Yeah, twerking them. It's like, and I
Like,
seen an event. I think it was in Boise. They canceled this parade. It's supposed to been I think like a drag queen parade, kid friendly. And they canceled it saying that they got threats or something. And it's like, y'all probably canceled because all your sponsors probably was like, nah, we good, bro. We not finna,
yeah, this
you
ain't
know.
it.
Yeah, and then they always try to do that too. They try to when they get pushback, it's not that this sucks, right? It's not that this event was good. It's like, oh no, it's like some red hat people threaten us or something. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah,
nah, we not feeling that yet.
yeah.
Uh, yeah, so I go to the next topic, which kind of leads me kind of into what we kind of hit on earlier too, with kind of genetic warfare, right? We already touched on the transhumanism type agenda. So I kind of want to dive into the genetic warfare that you see. I don't know what your position is on I kind of do, but I'm not gonna assume. But between that, we got these GMOs we hit on earlier. We're basically being bombarded all day with like EMF and things like that.
And trails in the sky.
Yeah,
Fake
so
food.
I don't know if you got anything in your store to keep the 5G off me, but how do you combat like all the stuff we're facing on a daily basis, or what can we do to kind of combat that, or what you think?
Okay. So definitely keep some crystals around you, some black tourmaline.
There's the obsidian on the neck. You feel
Got the crystals, keep that
Word.
thing on me. But yeah, so some crystals. I would say having a strong aura. A strong aura is natural protection against these opposing forces, and that's part of your spiritual protection. So
Yeah, you're gonna have to break down the high aura, the high.
the
How do you
aura, the
get to?
vibration.
How do you get to that point where your aura's
Okay.
radiating like that? Tell me.
Okay. Well, in my experience, I would say eating high vibrational foods because we are energetic beings. Yes, we have mind, body, spirit, but for example, humans, we vibrate at a certain frequency and it's measured, electromagnetic field is measured by angstroms. They're called angstroms of energy. So the human body has about 6,000, between 6 to 7,000 angstroms of energy. And fruits have the highest yielding energy. So they have about, I want to say like 8 to 12,000 angstroms of energy. Okay. So vegetables, these are raw organic foods with life force energy. They yield high energy. So foods that society has deemed as, food, like, we got chicken, fried foods, dairy with
How you
everything.
trying to take my chicken, yo? I need my Popeyes, bro.
Sorry.
I need my 4 for 4.
Right. Need my bacon, need my chitlins.
Oh, not the swine. We need my swine.
Yeah.
Swine and white women. I need it.
So eating things that contain life force that come from the earth, whole natural plant-based foods, that's major key in raising your vibration and keeping you protected from, for example, harmful things. Some things that I like to do is organic fruits, whether you're juicing, do a juice cleanse every once in a while, detoxing regularly. If my aura is not like Bruce Leroy's when I wake up, I'm taking it. Yeah.
Beautiful.
Yeah. Meditation, trying to release attachments, things that weigh you down, because we're natural, high vibrational beings. So I think it's more of releasing the blocks, believing in something higher than you, aka the creator, because in my experience, having an unshakable faith in the creator and believing that you're protected, keeping, your crystals on you, meditating and putting a field around yourself.
Now, for people who may be new to meditation, because I have a hard time, sometimes it's like I'm so used to the craziness, you know what I'm saying? And I'm from the city, I'm from Chicago originally. So it was a while where when I moved out of there, I couldn't even sleep because it was just so quiet, it's so peaceful. It's like, yo, this is so peaceful. I need some car radios blasting something, so it's always been a struggle for me to kind of get into meditating. So yeah, I know you kind of are familiar with it. What's the tips you get to somebody to kind of help them get through that first phase of first starting to meditate?
Okay, so one way I would encourage somebody to get into meditation is to do some deep breathing techniques. So that might be maybe the easiest way to start off, because when we're focused on our breathing, we're not focused on our mind. So what you want to do is breathe from your diaphragm, deep breathing. So when you're breathing deep through your diaphragm, you want to inhale, I would say about between 4 to 8 seconds. Yeah. Inhale, up your belly. Yeah.
I'll be trying. Yeah.
And hold it.
Okay.
And then release for 8 seconds. So when you hold your breath, it allows the oxygen to penetrate our cells and oxygenate the cells. And a lot of sickness comes from a lack of oxygen within our cells. So ways that we can suffocate our cells is through mucus, a chronic form of acidosis. So eating these foods that I told you about, like, for example, dairy. Dairy is one of the top food allergens in most mucus-causing foods. So, trying to eliminate the amount of mucus and increase the oxygen intake. Organic fresh fruits contain antioxidants, energy, like we talked about, the life force. And also naturally cleansing. Like, our bodies we are self-healing beings when given the right conditions. Right. So, society, everything they throw at us is artificial, fake, gonna hurt us in some way, so really learning how to dodge those kind of things. For example, like reading the ingredients on the food that you buy. That's major key, because they're always putting in these extra additives that harm our health, got these pesticides, herbicides.
And that soy, that filler, and everything that we eat now, every processed thing you eat is chock full of soy. And the yellow 5. It's like,
Right, high fructose corn syrup.
oh yeah, it's the worst. The triple concentrate. I said, man, the high fructose corn syrup is basically the equivalent of cutting cocaine with heroin. It's like you're triple,
and it's in everything.
yo.
It's crazy.
And even stuff that, and then I'll tell people, like, even if you sure that something doesn't have it, check it again. It was once upon a time, like, I used to work out a lot, and I still do, but I just like Powerade, right? And I used to drink the Powerades, right? And then I'm one of them label watchers, right? So I'm like, all right, it got the the regular crap in it, the sugar, but it don't have the triple crack heroin sugar, right? So I'm good. And then I look up one year and they switch, they went cheaper because it's cheaper to put that triple concentrated garbage in you. So you have to keep kind of watching the labels. And I know kind of these days, everything going up in price is kind of hard to eliminate everything. It's so expensive like a salad costs $5, but you got a $1 menu, right? But I'll say one of the easiest things you could do is try to eliminate the worst things. You know what I'm saying? So that's why I try to get the people off, like, leave the pork alone, leave the dairy alone. That's the easiest thing you could do. Look out for the high fructose corn syrup. Look out for a lot of the additives, the soy, and a lot of things. So if you can
sugar.
If you can refine, enriched anything. It's funny how they always invent them terms too. It's like, oh, it's enriched. It's what is it? Gold flakes in it? No, it's terrible for you, So we got to kind of just, at least at minimum, we may not be able to afford maybe to go to Whole Foods all the time or go to the farmer's market if you don't have one in your area. But if you can eliminate the worst things on the menu, you fighting half the battle right there,
Definitely. I mean, nobody's perfect. I'm not perfect. I mean, the best thing to do is the best you can do. But eliminating those things, like you said, refined white flour, bleached white flour. Wait, I said white flour. White sugar, bleached white flour, dairy, because we're not baby cows, and most Black people are lactose intolerant. We can't handle the milk sugar. I said dairy, sugar.
Just Untouchable got jokes. I see you got jokes, bro. I'll see you later. All right, so let me ask you this, since we didn't hit it on top. We already opened up Pandora's box, right? So I'm gonna go to the jabs, right? I'm gonna go to the jabs, yo.
Okay.
What do you think the purpose of? Because we seeing it ain't doing a damn thing for the Rona, right? What do you think the purpose of that was, or was it just a saline? What was going on with that, in your opinion? And we can keep it, we got people listening. You can codify it if you want, but what in your opinion was that? And is there a way to kind of, if it was bad for you, can you detox from it? What's up with that?
Okay. Well, definitely think you can detox from it. Just we'll get to that in a second. But I think the point of it was to, like, a compliance test. I think they wanted to see what they could get away with and how willing people were to listen to them. But also, too, kill Gates.
Billy Boy, yeah.
This dude's like obsessed with depopulation. So, I don't think. Oh, thank you, Mr. Untouchable.
Look,
Okay.
DM's gonna be full up. You might as well just block people. You might as well.
Yeah. So whether some of them were saline, but I know that for sure there was definitely people having adverse reactions to it. Some people died, but we won't mention, or they failed to mention, the underlying health conditions people had. And that was a crazy time.
I don't think we're done. Now we got monkeypox and bird pox, and I don't know what's what else coming down. They remixing stuff.
Yeah,
I think they're remixing polio now. So it's like,
oh, I heard that one. Oh, polio's resurfaced.
Yeah, but everything's a new name. It has the same exact symptoms, but this is this. It's like, what?
Remix.
They putting a Diddy spin on these.
Yeah. So, so how do you feel about the jabs?
Good luck. But nah, I'll just play. I think personally that I'm not sure that. I think some people it may have been an experiment with them because you can see detrimental effects. It's funny that I seen like all these montages of soccer players like dropping on the field, and these are some of the most in shape people in the world. They've been running since they've been 3-4 years old. That's
Mhm.
if you ever played soccer, which I tried to in a few times in high school. It's like the most cardio intense sport. By the time you're done, you done ran like 10 miles.
Yeah.
Particularly if you're playing like a forward or something. That's why I put all the big people at like defenses. God, you stay
Yeah.
over there. So to me, you didn't see that in America, at least in terms of the athletes, right? You didn't see a lot of like football players basketball players just dropping dead on the court, right? So to
Mhm.
me, it seemed like maybe saline type of deal, maybe or something like that. But I also agree with you that it's partly was compliance, that's why you've seen a push so hard here. And to me, the thing that should have been a red flag, I think, to a lot of people was like, I remember getting an email of this, and like I said, knowing the history, we know about Tuskegee, we know about all these things that happened, what they did to the slaves, and how they. So it's like, all right, and then I get emails like, oh, you're the most affected community in the world. We're first in line to get your jabs. Come on, come on, Blackie, come get your. I'm
Yeah.
like, I got an email said, and I never forget this. It's like, we found out that Black people, Native Americans, Hispanic are the most at risk, and we'll make sure that you guys are first in line to get. I'm like, whoa,
When do y'all care about us?
bro, that's like the ship pulling up to Africa and be like, yo, free cruise, come on. I'm like, nah, I'm not falling for that, yo. There's no way you're telling me you care that much about me that I'm gonna be first in line to
Yeah.
get this wonderful medicine,
Yeah.
So maybe that's the inner just contrarian in me speaking, but I'll take my chances. You tell me I got a 99.6% chance of survive. I like those odds. You know what
Mm-hmm.
I'm saying?
Exactly.
So that's how I felt about it. So there was a lot of compliance, and I seen a lot of people fold too. Once they start threatening people
Oh
jobs, stuff like
man.
that. I've seen some of the most staunch people too,
Yeah.
man, I ain't getting it, man. Yeah, you might get fired. All right, I guess I gotta get it.
Mm-hmm.
It's $18 an hour. I gotta keep it. I'm like,
Yeah.
oh, you kidding me, bro?
Mm-hmm.
So it was an eye opener to me. I think even if you were against it or you was kind of skeptical at first, even then it was an eye opener to you because it kind of showed you like people would fold, and it doesn't take much to fold.
Yeah.
Just threatening you
Especially,
with a check.
yeah, with the constant pressure from every which way. Oh, you need to get vaccinated. Get vaccinated or your grandma's gonna die. Stuff like that. It's just like, the guilt trip and how willing people were to just accept it without questioning it, which is crazy. And then science became like a religion. Trust the science, trust the science. Then you
Mm,
got how I knew it was sketchy because before the whole pandemic had popped off, maybe like a year or months prior, like Bill Gates was holding an event. I think it was called Event 201 or something, where he was simulating a worldwide pandemic. And shortly after that, we have an outbreak. And
mm,
then, boom, after that, lockdowns. It's just like, whoa. I think it opened my eyes. I think it opened my eyes a lot about how much power the government actually has over our daily lives and how we need to step away from that.
Big Daddy government.
Decentralization.
And shout out to the pro black. You feel for the oh yep, they got you, bro. They got Uncle Pro Black, great uncle back in the day. Feel for the free cruise and
Timeshare.
always the time share. And yeah, that's a big facts right there, bro. Science is religion, definitely. When you don't when you don't have something to worship, when you don't have some kind of something to believe in, they're gonna give you something, bro. I seen
Mhm.
people with Fauci dolls and all types of nonsense. It's like, do y'all realize? Like, do y'all not read that chapter talking about like the goat, the whatever, worshiping the bull, and now you got Fauci dolls in your living room, and
Mhm.
I mean,
You became the celebrity of the pandemic.
yeah, came up.
Yeah, you sure did. But I seen something about he was another prominent figure when the AIDS
Yeah.
epidemic was coming around, and he was talking about it.
But you know what? People don't remember the craziness that was like AIDS. You know what I'm saying? Like I remember people like, yo, don't eat at this person's house. Don't go over there. Like they drink from a can, throw it out. I remember I had some family members that was like, supposedly rumored to have it or whatever. Like and they was, drug users and stuff, right?
Yeah.
Yo, I never forget, like one of my peoples came over one time, and like my grandma at the time, she made this person sit at a chair at the front door, like, because they was over there begging for money. Like, you sit right here. Here goes some food. Here goes some money. As soon as that person left, she went disinfected the chair. Like, was about to burn it. And like, bro, like, that's how crazy that was. And to me, if you wasn't old enough to remember that, or maybe, we have recency bias, all of us, that we don't remember how crazy the that era was. Like, it was told, like, somebody spit on you, you can get AIDS. Like, somebody, their gums bleeding and they spit on you, you can get AIDS. It's like, that was true. That was the story of the day. So fast forward to now, and then I'm seeing the similarities, even the same players. You know what I'm saying? You got this cat who's older and grayer hair, but he's the same guy that's, preaching this. This is big business for them. You feel me? So it's crazy in America. Like, everything that's kind of like shouldn't be business is business. Like locking people up and, pushing, like, you see more, this is the craziest part. Like, when you watching you can be watching football right now. We know football season's back on. Yeah, right. Yo, you got mainstream commercials doing football times out with HIV medication. Like, it's normal. Oh, I take my pill once a day and I'm undetectable and I'm back to butt sexing it up. Like, it's crazy. And I'm like, whoa, this is a whole new era where they make it kind of, it's okay. Like, okay, we're gonna put you on a lifetime subscription service. We're gonna say you got that, and you take, like, even the jab, like, every 9 months. They talking about you gotta get a fresh booster. When have you ever needed a fresh booster every 9 months?
Exactly. So does the first one not work or what?
It's the same thing too. It's like, okay, this first thing didn't work. We're gonna give you just more of it. Like, hey, I don't know how people are. But I can go to the next topic, since we got the people. We had some people in the DMs look like they might. So let's get to the next topic, which might help them. Let's talk about relationships, right? Let's get to relationship advice a little bit, right? Okay. So part of healthy, right? The whole mind concept is building healthy relationships, right? We know we have this age, this era where everybody's swiping left and right on people. They having most of their interactions online now and things like that. So how do you, and even if you're in a relationship, how do you maintain or even build a healthy relationship when you have so many distractions, or what has worked for you? If that's worked, I don't know if it's worked or not, but what would you say? Even in failure, you learn a lesson though, right? So what do you think worked for you in terms, or what do you think you give advice for people trying to build and maintain healthy relationships, particularly in this crazy era, this, electronic era we're in?
Yeah. That's a good question. So definitely with the internet, we are, what's the word? We think we have infinite options. So some of us, don't want to commit, or we're 1 foot in, 1 foot out. The internet just giving us a plethora of options. And I feel like social media too has played a part in the evolution of dating. Even the music.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness, the music. It's like
facing the WAP. Got the kids singing.
It's crazy.
Yeah, I was riding the Kia. You can't be safe on the radio. It was a point where you can, like, I can't have my Pandora plugged in. 3-6 Mafia, Slob Nah might come on, right? Like, I'm gonna throw the radio on and we good to go. You throw the radio on, it's like, throw baby. Whoa.
Yeah.
Kid in the car trying to hit the button, you feel me? So it's like we're being bombarded with, like, degeneracy. That's kind of why I wanted to hit on that topic, because I don't think it's enough, like, love. You even see the dumb stuff on, Twitter, the gender war, the black men, black woman, and it's crazy,
It is.
Do you think a lot of that is manufactured, or what do y'all actually beef for? What do you think?
I think some of it's manufactured because, some people know that they're going to get the attention, by saying certain things. But I also think that, we have become more divided as a society, whether it's, black versus white, men versus women. And I definitely think society has something to play with that, because I feel like in the past maybe 4 or 5 years, it's been worse, the whole gender wars thing. And it's been with the rise of the media, social media, stuff like that. Because nowadays, you got kids that know nothing, they don't know life without social media. So they're basing their reality off of these things that they see, or the illusions that they're being fed. Because, a lot of these people will be like, oh, sex worker culture.
Don't talk about the OnlyFans. She has a family to feed. You know and I think that's what you're seeing too. And particularly going back to the teenage years, we know that's probably one of the most confusing, weirdest times of a person's life without prior to social media. Now you have social media where it's like, used to be you go to school, somebody mess with you, you go home, it's kind of like your safe haven. But now they got this thing, cyberbullying now. Something happening to you, like God forbid somebody take a picture or video, now it's in circulation. So I would say, you need to really guard, particularly if you got any teenagers, you got any preteens, middle school age, like you really need to guard what they're subject to and what they're privy to. I'm seeing, like, I know people that set up like Instagram for their 5-year-old. It's like, what's going on with that? That's weird on many levels to me. But indoctrination and, just always online. We're always plugged in. It kind of goes back to transhumanism thing we talk about. You don't necessarily have to have cybernetics on you, but, let somebody, you ever seen somebody walk out the house and their phone is not in their pocket and they realize it, yo? It's almost like the snipers in the bushes. Like, oh my God, I got to run back in the house and get this, right? So I think we've already been kind of programmed to, now they just finna simplified it now. All you gotta do is simplify it at this point. Like, all right, we're gonna put it in your arm. We're gonna put it, like, your phone's right there. It's the glasses on your face. So you seeing the incrementalism. So I'm gonna ask you, I'm gonna throw it to you. Like, what would be your tips or advice? I don't know if you have children or not, but what would be your advice to any parents out there who raising kids, like, who don't have to navigate this?
Well, I don't have any kids, but I do have a niece and a nephew who I'm very involved with taking care of them. I say a big thing, like you said, you should try to guard and shield your kids as much as you can, because now with the whole integration of, the internet and stuff like that, you got kids always on the iPad, but you don't know what they're watching. And especially years 0 through 7, that's when kids are shaping their reality and their beliefs and their view of the world. And as parents, I feel like we should be more involved in shaping our kids' realities for the better, but also allowing them to feel what they feel, because a lot of us, we create trauma in our children that we're unaware of. We think we're doing what's best for them, but growing up, our kids have to heal from us. So I think listening to them, allowing them to question things, but also being real. Growing up, no shade to my parents, they raised me up to be really good, but because I told you so. That's one thing I feel like in the Black community is like, just do it because I told you so.
Word.
So kids don't learn how to think for themselves or come to their own conclusions, or, for example, they just become, what's the word?
I'm thinking more like a drone. Like, I think the biggest thing we do is raise critical thinkers.
There we go.
You know what I'm saying? Like, we got to have critical thinkers, people who can question authority. But going back to what you're saying, you also have to recognize when it's go time, right? So I understand, like, my mom and them was like, yo, because I said so, but sometimes it's like, yo, we got to get out of here right now. This dude over here look like he might have a gun. Like, well, we gotta go, mommy. We gotta go.
Well, yeah, for sure.
Time and a place, but you also need to, like, later on, like, explain, like, yo, this is what I saw. This is what's happening. Like, my kid, like, my youngest is like toddler, she's 2.5, but I can talk to her. She's at the age where I can talk and be like, explain some stuff. Like, even if she may not understand or comprehend everything, it's like, yo, I'm gonna talk to you so you can comprehend and understand this is how it goes. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I don't think we're doing that enough. When everything is like, do it now, do it because I said so, do it because of that. Then you're not raising critical thinkers. You're raising, people who's gonna get the Fauci ouchie.
Yeah,
And,
exactly.
So I feel you on that.
Yeah, I do think it's like it coincides with each other. You should allow your kids to be able to question, but of course, when it's go time, it's go time.
Yeah, it's a balance.
Yeah, yeah, because the public school system definitely teaches people to be more.
Yeah, like Oni say in the chat, yo, the public food system. And shout out to brother Bakari, man. My bad, man. I didn't know you was going live tonight either, brother. I got you. I'll buy your bean pie when I see you, bro. Shout out to the Forecast, haven't listened to the radio in 7 years. Smart man.
Yes.
And it's trash. And shout out, Sandra, shout out. Holla at you. We got the fam in here, man. I'm glad y'all here checking in with me. So now I kind of wanted to get into some things outside of the realm. We're gonna go into some things. I seen you was at the currency joint. You feel me? Shout out to and we already kind of hit on hip hop and things like that. You know what I'm saying? Like, would you say? I don't want to rehash this subject, but what the hell was up with this debate about who started hip hop? Like, was that a psyop or what? That thing went on for like 4 weeks, yo.
Yeah, it seems like it always resurfaces. I mean, well, if you care to enlighten me, who did start hip hop?
Well, they had, I don't know if it was Fat Joe or it was Busta Rhymes or whoever. Basically questioned, said Caribbeans was involved, Puerto Ricans was involved in hip hop and starting it. Now you got FBA, and I'm sitting here like, ain't none of y'all getting no bread off this. That was my perspective. It's like you're putting a bunch of CEOs and people who don't look like you do college arguing about hip hop. So, as a hip hop fan, do you think it has overall been a positive, or is it in a good space right now as we talking? And can it be redeemed? Like, can it be back to a positive thing for the most part, or do we just need to leave mainstream and focus on those like currency and you know what I'm saying, underground cats? So what you think?
Okay, well, I do think it can be redeemed. I just think we need to get back more to talking about real things, like how hip hop was started on talking about our struggle, what we're going through, our lifestyle. But now it's more about, I got more money than you. Take your girl.
Yeah, that killed me. Like a whole track about you, about to hit my girl. Like you got, like, oh, Brad, be how much I'm broke, bro. I'm trying I'm mad my power bill went up $50. It's almost like they're obtuse, so they're not even in the real world right now. Not that I want to hear about you, because sometimes you gotta have the escape music, you gotta have the turn up, the feel good music. But I think you got to have the balance. We're going to go back to my eye. You know what I mean? You got to have that balance. And when the balance is thrown off, things happen, right? Yeah. So right now, to me, like the forecast say, if you just solely rely on the radio, there's no balance whatsoever. You know what I'm saying? There's no MC Light to oppose a Cardi B. You know what I'm saying? No KRS-One to oppose a Lil Baby, so it's like you're not getting that balance. You're not getting that. So I tell people like, now just like you be intentional with anything else in your life, be intentional with what you absorb. Digestion is more than just what you eat. It's everything. You know what I'm saying? What you watch, what you absorb, what you listen to, all that, right? See no evil, hear no evil. What's the other one? Speak no evil, right? So all of that is part of you. So that's what I say. And yeah, shout out. You got Brother Bakari putting them on game.
Yeah, big crit. He knows.
Yeah. And just throw a little 3-6 in between to get your balance. All right.
Someone said it's rap now, not hip hop, except a few artists. I agree. Especially with the whole female rap thing right now.
Oh, yeah, that's and I definitely want to hit but you do have a Ciroc. It's another chick too that's dope. Nalim or something like that. I think she's like a Muslim, but she rapping on the
with the head wrap. Okay.
Yeah, I'm like, okay, she's spitting. So you do have cats out there, but they're not getting that recognition. And I think that's purposeful. Like they're trying to, feed you fast food.
Exactly.
You've seen did you see that one thing where they had the AI rapping? I think got shut
Oh
down.
yeah. Mm-hmm.
So that's kind of what they think of you. You know what I'm saying? Like
Exactly.
it's so rudimentary that we can just the computer can make some rhymes and you know what I'm saying? So I just think we need to get back to that. So what would you say who you listen to these days, or who is you absorbing, or who's giving you the energy these days?
I listen to a lot of, just random things. I don't really listen to newer music. For sure, listen to Currency all the time. He drops music constantly to always keep us fed. Big Crit, because he's soul food for his music is soul food. I listen to stuff like Goody Mob, that soul food album. That's my
What
favorite.
you know about
Goody Mob.
what you know about Goody
Self-
Mob, youngin?
That self-care song, that's prophecy.
Word. Shot forecast, the old 360. Tell me about it, bro. Them dudes still
Oshun.
rapping. They
Oh, I
gotta be
like
like,
Oshun. Yeah,
okay,
Oshun.
brother Vakari hitting on game, bro. I'm about to check
Yeah.
your playlist, bro. What's your playlist on Spotify, bro? We're gonna have to follow you.
Right? Let's step in.
But yeah, we've been over an hour now. I ain't want to keep you too long, so I'm gonna let you get out of here. But I just want you to be able to plug your businesses, let them know, because you are an entrepreneur, getting that money, money.
Yeah.
And also helping the community, because I think you're doing holistic cures, you're doing things that can help people, and also teaching. So go ahead, I'm gonna let you shine what you got going on.
Thanks you. Well, so you can find me at rarerareness.com. I got herbs, got sea moss gel, got sea moss, got capsules, got all kinds of holistic remedies. Got oils, herbal baths, you name it. And also too, you can hit me up at Starr at rarerareness.com for health coaching, consultations, if you have any questions about anything, and also my Twitter and Instagram at Rarerareness.
Whoa, that's what's up. Hit up. I also will put your website. I'm gonna put that in the show description. Make sure y'all go out there, spend some money with a black-owned business.
Yes.
Beautiful young ladies slanging them herbs, the good kind. And make sure y'all check us out this Sunday. We'll be recording again. Hopefully you can take a break from your NFL and come tune in. And if you ever want to come in and sit on the panel, I'll be more than happy to have you come on and drop some knowledge.
Okay.
All right.
For sure. Thanks for having me.
Thank you for coming. And I'll drop your handles too. Make sure y'all follow her on Twitter. She be dropping some bombs on there too.
Yeah.
Clear that cesspool of a timeline with some positivity. But so I got thought provoking. So on behalf of everybody here at the Harsh Reality Podcast, see y'all Sunday. And I gotta say peace. Peace to the guests.
Peace.
Greetings, everyone. This is Koku from the Bitter Medicine Podcast, inviting you to tune in to the Bitter Medicine Podcast on KWAZ Radio.
Peace, family. This is Oni, inviting you to listen to the pro-black perspective, where black problems are addressed with black solutions.
Greetings, fam. Tune in to The Learning Curve with me, the revolutionary matron on KWAZ Radio.